it's Amanda, and Holly's right behind me, so she might chime in from time to time. I wanted to make you a video about what classes will look like on Thursday. You will have K1 from 1:15 to 2:15, and it'll be a hard transition because at 2:15 your 4-5 students come in and they stay until 3:15. So what I would suggest is getting the K1 students kind of wrapped up 5 minutes early. They'll leave out the lab door, this back lab door, and you'll receive 4th and 5th graders from the front door. And so just always know that that's a little bit messy, even with us having done it for several weeks now. So it's okay to kind of push those kids out and get the other kids kind of all gathered in the front of the library to get started. So with K1, we are going to be doing a little bit of augmented reality, which sounds complicated, but it's not. You'll notice that on the wall we have these colored dots. We celebrated Dot Day, which was Saturday, International Dot Day, and they colored a dot, and they are going to be using an app called Quiver to hover over their dot, and it creates a 3D version. Now, I will have a video for K1 to watch and also a video for 4-5 to watch showing what they'll be doing and how to do it, all that good stuff. So I would recommend watching that before class starts, just so you know what you're doing and being able to answer any questions that mostly the K1s will have. So K1, you'll watch the video, you'll hand out their dots. And once you hand out their dots, you can give them an iPad. I recommend that they use the floor. They'll put their paper flat down on the floor, and they'll take their iPad, open up Quiver, which is the app, and once they get going, they'll be able to interact with their dot in a 3D way. And they're allowed to scan their dot, they're allowed to scan the ones that are on the wall, they can scan a friend's. It's just enjoying using the augmented reality app and seeing what their dot and their friends' dots look like in that way. So that's pretty much what they'll be doing the whole time. Make sure you give yourself enough time to gather up all the papers and the iPads before you switch.
Are the kids taking their dots home that day?
Some kids will. Some kids want to. You can totally just let them take their dot. If they keep them, you can tell them that I will put them up on the wall for other kids to scan. Some of them really love that idea. If they say, well, I don't want mine up on the wall, then just throw it away. I don't care. So yes, totally fine for both groups of K1 students that you'll see just to take their paper with them. Many times if it's the first group, they'll leave their paper in the library. If that's the case, just throw it away. So when you see 4-5, they're doing something similar, but they're doing the beginnings of the whole Quiver process. So you'll notice over here, I have different options of papers for them to color. They'll also watch a video before they get started, so I'll show them kind of what they're in for, what this app does, so they have an idea of why they're coloring. And I'll talk a little bit about virtual reality versus augmented reality. So I would suggest watching that again. And really what they're doing the whole time is coloring. They can color as many as they can in the amount of time that they have. If they want to take one home to color and either do at home or bring back to do next week, that's fine. But I've had a couple of kids ask me, can I take 3 home? No, just 1, okay? So they'll start coloring 1, and then if they finish that, make sure that they put their names on their paper But I've been asking them to put it down at the bottom where the Quiver logo is, because then it won't get in the way of the iPad scanning it later on. So ask them to put their name down here, take them up as they finish coloring them. They can pick another. If they only want to color one and they have some time left over, they can rest, they can talk with their friends. It's not a big deal, as long as they get one down. And that's pretty much it for 4-5. They're just coloring. Markers are over here. If any markers don't work, just tell the kids to toss them. And they will not get a chance next week to color. So if they don't finish, tell them that the image that comes up in the augmented reality app will still work. So it's really not a big deal. If they don't finish the one that they had been working on, don't let them take it home. Tell them we're going to keep that one. If they want to take a second one home to color and finish and bring back, that's fine. But we at least need one of them to stay here so that I have something to give them next week when we are scanning. Ms. Berg, can you think of anything else?
No.
Okay. So, again, feel free to text me, email me if you have any questions about this. This should be a fairly easygoing day. And it's really like with K1, just let them scan, and it should be pretty low stress. So yeah, I should be available by phone if you need me. The last thing, iPads. The iPads that you'll use for K1, you'll probably have about 7 kids per group. And I would suggest pulling from the top row of the cart. I don't have any of the iPads in here right now, but you'll want to pull the blue ones first. You're more than welcome to pull the rest of the red on the top row, but it's likely that you won't need that many. So start with the blue. They'll all be plugged in and charged and ready for you. And the kids, I'll show them how to get to the app on the video, so they'll be good to go if you just hand them the iPad. And you don't have to turn them off or anything. They stay on all the time, even when they're charged. So don't feel like you have to hold down that power button to turn them off at the end of class. I would recommend taking the iPads and putting them back in the cart or in the closet somewhere during your 4-5 class, just because our 4-5 kids like to touch everything. So if you do, I like docking my iPads here, which you're more than welcome to do while 4-5 class is going on, and then putting them back in the cart when you're done with 4-5. That works. And the last thing is, yes, I am pregnant. I didn't eat a lot of burritos. I am due with a baby girl on Groundhog Day, so that's exciting. Yeah, that's it.